Temporarily occupied Kherson is turning into a ghost town. Every day there are less people on the streets. Once noisy prominent areas in the center are deserted. Half of the stores are closed. Windows are boarded up. Dmitro, a local resident who is a driver, tells how the decrease in population can be seen even in the traffic flow.
I think about 60% of the population definitely left. This can be seen even in the traffic. If before, at 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. during rush hour, when people were going to and from work, there were huge traffic jams in the city. Now there is practically no traffic in the city. Dmitro, Kherson resident.
Searches, checkpoint controls regardless of gender, kidnappings, poverty, lack of medicines and high food prices. The residents of the city and region are left in such conditions, periodically without communication, electricity and gas supplies. The occupiers stop people simply on the streets. They check their phones, read personal messages, and threaten punishment if they do not like something. Sometimes, after such checks, the occupiers take people to an unknown destination, as is evidenced by dozens of reports of disappeared relatives.
People are worried about their lives. They are worried because the Russian military is pressuring the civilian population. It's very noticeable. And due to the tense situation, there are explosions every day. There is shooting all over the city, automatic gunshots. Dmitro, Kherson resident.
To escape from the occupation, the Kherson region has been controlled by occupation troops for 6 months. During this time, the Russian army has not provided a single green corridor. Nevertheless, Kherson residents find ways to evacuate on their own, risking their lives. People have been queuing for weeks near the village of Vasilivka in the Zaporizhia region to escape. Another route is Kherson, Crimea, Europe, Ukraine. Maria evacuated with her family and small child through annexed Crimea recently. She says she was no longer able to stay in the city.
The Russian military has completely flooded the city. They walk around in both regular clothes and military uniforms, always with arms. Therefore, those who have children should rather move away. There are no jobs in the city. My husband and I lost our jobs after the war started.
The route through Crimea is expensive and exhausting. At the checkpoint, the Russian soldiers interrogate and search. Maria's husband was interrogated for about half an hour in a separate room. The phone was checked, and the contacts of acquaintances who were military men were examined. They also did not ignore the girl and her child.
My baby doesn't speak very well yet. They were pressuring my child to say that I was his mother. The baby started to get nervous, to cry.
Maria tells that the attitude of the aggressor country to refugees from Ukraine is quite specific. Toilets for Ukrainians are closed. Ukrainian license plates are viewed with hostility, and locals look down on them.
There were Russian truck drivers standing nearby. They were drunk, shouting glory to Russia, shouting how bad the Ukrainians were, how we were running away from the war. They were mocking us, laughing, and some of them even made video of us.
About half of the residents are still in the city now, and there are constant messages on social networks about leaving and advice on finding drivers. Although a large part of the population has left the occupied territory, locals still continue to resist the occupiers. Every day, risking their lives, they prove to the world that Kherson is Ukraine. Reported by Roman Smoler, Anastasia Lisova, UATV News.